That's right, folks. Episode 198 coming at you hot.
198. 190. Oh, episode 198.
That's right.
I'm an idiot. I thought you were doing like a radio DJ, like
Hot 98.
98.3 or yeah. But I was like, what's 198? I did big eye when I did this. I did big eyes because I just got new headshots taken.
Ooh.
No big deal. NBD. I was very tired of showing up. Here's a little advice for aspiring comedians out there. If you grow a mustache you're not like entirely sure about for the rest of your life, don't get headshots with the mustache. For some reason, I was very confident when I had the mustache. I was like, this is just going to be it. This is me. Bury me in this bury me in the stash, I said. But turns out that wasn't just me. And then now every time I show up somewhere, they make the same goddamn joke. Oh, what happened? You don't. Hey, I don't recognize you.
Are you serious?
Every
They
time.
say that. That's so funny because what I was going to say is I was just waiting to say that I think for you, your shadow is so thick.
I know. You say that every time.
You have a mustache.
You say that every time, but it's a Zoom. I think it's a Zoom thing because it does not come across to people in the real world.
That is so funny.
Nobody ever they just go, oh, what happened? No, I don't recognize. Who's this guy? Where's our comedian mustache comedian? So part of me is like, sometimes like, did you book me because I had a mustache? Am I selling people a bill of goods here?
The same thing is with my long hair. Like my headshot is from like 2011. And then I finally Jesse at Madison, Jesse Chiefo took new ones when I had long hair. And I mean, if I cut my hair, I'll be like, I'll just go back to using my 2011 headshot because it's
right. But there is I was like, I got to get new headshots because there is something that happens. Obviously, I feel like I've been doing comedy for a long time, but then also there's part of me that thinks I'm not the old comedian yet. So I'm in a weird transition. I'm becoming the old comedian. I'm on my way. But I remember opening for the old comedians.
Yep.
And they would always have this ancient headshot, just like either the booker didn't care or they didn't care or somebody didn't care.
Or they were just holding on.
Or they're just holding on because they like the way they look in that headshot. And then it's black, always black and white. Back then, that was big in the 80s and 90s. You're like, have a black and white headshot. It's probably just cheaper because you had to like physically print them out and mail them.
Right.
And it was always so unlike the person you were actually. It was almost unrecognizable, the person in the headshot versus the comedian you're actually. And I was like, I don't want to be that guy yet, who's just like unrecognizable from the headshot
because they've aged so much.
Yeah. Or just you don't have a mustache or whatever, or you look different, but so it's like, let me get these new headshots. So
Did I tell you about Jason Russell's old, like before I ever met, I always saw his headshot in the club in Madison at the old place.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, he's the angry black guy comic. Like that's just who he is. Because as a joke, he's like, well, I'm so silly. It'd be funny if my headshot was like the total opposite. And it's like, no. You get the joke. People that don't know who you are.
No, it's like when people are like, oh, it'd be ironic if I was like juggling in my headshot because I don't juggle. No, everyone on the planet's just going to think you're some hack juggler act. It's not the irony is not going to come across. Steve Martin can do it. No one else got away with it because he was so insanely famous that they knew that was, but like, no, it's that is like such a lesson for everything. It's like, just keep it simple when it comes to stuff that's for the masses. Like, and there's nothing more for the masses than a headshot because that's literally like, this is just what I look like.
Yeah.
Don't get too avant-garde or go on a unicycle or just get a picture of your face where you don't look like an asshole. That's honestly the best headshot for everybody. And when you think of like famous comedians you like, if you look up their headshots, they're not like some artistic piece. It's a zoomed in picture of their face.
Yep.
They don't look like an asshole. That's what you're going for.
I'm so desperately trying to find these pictures of these headshots that I just took. Oh yeah, here you go. I've never worked with this guy. I'm sure he's the nicest guy. I think he is probably the nicest guy. He's very nice. But his headshots.
Oh my god!
Headshots.
Wait! What a kiss of death! He's probably the nicest guy. I'm sure he is the nicest guy. That just means you're about to say something awful about somebody when you're like,
I don't know.
Hey, I don't know him. He's probably nice. So remember that when you see this. Oh my god, who is that? What is that? Bar napkins around him?
No, it's his head in a grocery bag alongside groceries.
Oh my god.
And then here's his other one.
Oh, and they're pouring liquid jokes in his ear.
They're pouring joke fluid into him through.
Let me tell you something. See, he thought way too long and hard about what would be a different. Oh, I got to do something that stands out. No, you don't. No, you don't. It's like the mustache. I was like, oh, see, I'm a straight white guy. I need something to like separate me from all the other. Nope. Shave that shit off your face.
I want people to think I'm a gay white guy.
Wait a minute. Is that what you thought this whole time? My mustache looked gay?
That's why we started this podcast. I thought.
This is how I find out. I had it for like 2 years.
No, I think you see. That's the thing. Like as you were saying that stuff, at the beginning,
you
it looks like he has
off.
a mustache, but like I have seen. I could show you a picture of me with a mustache. I look like an asshole.
No, yeah, you look like. I mean, you look like an asshole all the time. So like the mustache.
It just really.
I mean, that really accentuates it. And just the whole process of getting headshots. I mean, you can speak to this, but it's just. And then I even said like, and then you're in there with the guy. It's another guy, and then it's talk about like feeling gay or whatever. You're just in this dark room, and it's just the two of you, and there's music. They always play music, like that's gonna, like, in a way, this is making it more uncomfortable for me, you know. And then they keep getting closer and closer to your face, and you're like, you don't know what to do or how to smile that's not weird. And then I always say the same, and then I always talk about like, oh, this is so uncomfortable. And then but then you're like, everybody probably says that. And then the photographer is probably like rolling their eyes like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I've heard that like a billion times. Could you just smile normal for once and so we could get out of here, you know? So I'm like completely in my head.
The key has to be to just like bring someone with you that can just you could talk to or joke around, because
that's a great idea. And that's never occurred to me because of the shame involved in getting your own picture taken. Like the last thing I want to do is bring somebody else to witness this, you know? But yeah, that actually is a great idea to like just get like a little bit of a group convo going so it feels more natural. I don't know. When you got them taken, do you have you go to like a place, or you just know? Oh, you said you did it at the comedy club.
Every single one I've done, like my buddy from college did them for me, like when they were just, I mean, back in the day before I was really, you know, and I just used those for a long time. And then my cousin is like a professional photographer, so he did the one that I've been using for 12 13 years, and that was fine because he's my cousin, so I was like, oh, I wasn't uncomfortable. But I've done other ones that I just ended up not using because it's like, oh, this is stiff and uncomfortable. And then the ones in Madison is Jesse, and I didn't know him super well at the time when he did the headshots, and he put on this band, the music, and so we were like talking about the band, and it was just, I don't know. I mean, whatever.
You need to just be able to go like it was Gabe, Michael, who did mine, he lives in Chehalis, Washington. He's kind of halfway between Portland and Seattle, and he books. He like has been around comedy all the time. He's booked it at this local theater there, and he's shot a lot of comedians' headshots. So he's like very comedy literate, So it's easy to talk to him, but still, it's
So yeah, there's something about the whole process. They're taking pictures. You just feel
yeah. He did give me a good advice. He's like, you want to go big eyes. It's all in the eye. You want to go big eyes, like this.
This is good.
You want to look like
You look like psychopaths.
you want to look like someone is penetrating you,
and you didn't know it was about to
and you
happen.
didn't know it was coming.
Moon River.
That's the best headshot you can get. But anyway, so look out for that. Oh, I'll be posting those.
Yeah. So do you
hot
have
off
them?
the presses.
Are they finalized?
No. So then I picked like 4. Well, I let Heidi pick 4 basically, and then he's gonna edit those.
Was this a costly endeavor? Can I ask you?
What would you guess?
I don't know.
I want to know if this is in the realm.
I've never paid a legitimate amount for headshots.
Well, so
because the club pays, and then the other ones were all family.
Yeah, it's tricky because I mean, like, I don't know where I think he was giving me probably a deal, but then like I don't want him to give me, I want to pay the guy. It's his profession. It's not like it's something he does on the side. It's like his full time. And he just booked me for a gig. So then when I was going to do the gig, part of it was like, oh, I'll come up early, get my headshots taken. But then I didn't have time. So then I felt like bad as like, oh, well, I took money from him and then I didn't.
Yeah.
So I did make up, but it was $500.
Okay. See, I was gonna guess 1,000.
Oh, so great. Good. Okay, good. Saving money. But what's funny is I think I did.
Yeah.
I think I got paid. I think I got paid $500 to do the gig. So it is funny. Like it's all a wash.
Well, you got headshots out of it.
Yeah, I know. And and I'm sure those will lead to big things.
Oh, they will. That's when you're gonna get. Oh, hey, I saw that new photo on your. It's funny. I know nothing. I'm so bad about knowing like headshot, like what makes a good one. Like I should, because I totally forgot my brother.
This makes a good one.
Right.
Big eyes.
My brother Ben shot. Where were we? We were in Seattle. My headshots from right before Jesse at Madison did them. It was me with long hair. I think that was why we did it, because it had been 11 years since my brother is a good photographer. He mostly shoots birds, not headshots, but what's the difference?
Birds way harder. They're moving around.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Yeah, they're up in the there. Then if
you can shoot birds, comedians, that's nothing.
Yeah. So I did those, and I liked those a lot. Like I used those, for a while, and I still use them for some stuff. But then I was showing a buddy that's like a professional art designer or whatever. He's like knows photography and stuff, both. And he was like, the ones that Jesse took, he was like, well, this is more, it's just richer, and it can tell, like, just like how he had me posed in the face. And I was like,
okay.
I mean, I like them all, but I was just like, oh, I'm not smiling. I'm not smiling.
How will they know if they're gonna have a fun time?
Yeah, are they gonna think this is a serious speech?
I don't have a thought bubble coming out of my head with ha ha ha. So how would they know?
There's no fluid being poured in my ear.
I'm sure he's a nice guy, though. You know what? I bet he's the nicest guy you've ever met. I've never met him. I bet he donates money to charity all the time. But check out this asshole.
Hey, honey, let's go see that comedian. Yeah, he's really nice. He's supposed to be nice.
Yeah. You learn that early in comedy. That's more comedy advice. It's always a kiss of death. Which I always feel bad, because then it's almost incentive. So the trope is that if you describe someone as nice, it means they're not very funny. Because why wouldn't have you just said they're funny? But it always, to me, that's terrible, because then like it incentivizes you to not be nice in comedy.
Correct. And I think it comes from the fact that if you had to bet, if you work with most comics, like it's rarer to meet a really nice comic, because usually they're either self-absorbed or an asshole, or just like, yeah, whatever,
Yeah.
I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing, okay, fine.
Yes. And I think that we expect everyone to be at least some baseline funny. It's like
Right.
you should be.
Yeah. If that's your profession.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, you got it. I mean, it would be weird if you're like, hey, look, I'm not a funny guy. Okay. I'm just here to do comedy. I don't know what you guys expected.
You guys are all being very picky.
But, because I know lots of comics who are like super nice and also very funny. And then you almost don't want to tell everybody how nice they are, because you're like, no, but they're actually
they're
actually funny.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well,
what else, dude?
how was your Super Bowl?
Super
My God, you were rooting
Bowl.
for the Chiefs, right?
Of course. See, we're
Yeah.
we're anti 49ers. In fact, I kept telling Ginger who the bad guys were.
Yeah.
So that was my Super Bowl party. It was me. Ginger was there.
I saw a picture. Heidi posted a picture of you.
Heidi was there. Yeah, it was a good group. Good little group going. And Ginger napped halfway through the game, but she did come out for the fourth quarter. And yeah, I kept describing the 49ers as the bad. I was like, those are the bad people. They're the bad guys. Those are the bad guys.
You got to beat those guys.
But then she kept like fighting. Then she kept like wanting to root for the bad guys. And it was very frustrating. I was like, oh, this is how it happens. You try to shape your kid a certain way and you push them, and then they go the opposite way. You're like, oh, okay. So now I need to like manipulate her some other way. I need to like figure out how to make her a Seahawks fan without being overtly like, you are a Seahawks fan,
What would you think of the Seahawks commercial?
Oh, when they're all birds?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, I thought of you. I was like, oh, of all the teams they picked.
And Tyler Lockett, he was the best part when they zoomed in and he was like flapping, and he kind of did the like bird head turn. Like he was the one that came in close on in the window, and then he like flew off. So yeah, I thought they did a good job like pretending to be birds.
Were those all Seahawks? It's funny because
it was all the birds.
Was like, oh, they're all actors in Seahawks costumes.
Well, they were all football players, but they were all bird teams. So it was like Seahawks, Cardinals, Eagles.
Oh, so they were all professional football players.
We were talking about commercials. Okay, where do you stand on like the Super Bowl commercials? Because that was one of the Super Bowl commercials. Did you like that one? Was it funny? Not funny?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I don't know.
It's fine.
It was fine. Yeah. What didn't make me laugh out loud? I was like, oh, hey,
yeah,
I gotta bring this up with Andrew.
But where do you stand on like, were they good to you, the commercials? Did you enjoy them? Were they funny? Not funny?
As a comedian, I'm very cynical of them. Like I'm always, like you'll see them and I'm just like, no, oh yeah, of course. Everyone's gonna eat this shit up and they're all gonna say they love it, but it's actually not mathematically funny.
Yes.
You just put, the celebrity cameo in the last second, and that just made everyone.
That's it. So that's the problem.
Like, come on.
I think any like sketch 101 teacher would tell these commercial ad writers, like, you're throwing like these little explosions in the end. Like, you're worried you're not making a splash. Like if you have a simple idea, and then by the time you get to the end, it's like, it's not enough. We gotta like bing, 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 and then it's hat on hat on hat on hat on hat. It's like, just trust. Like the best ones, Heidi was saying this, and it's true. It's like the best ones take a very clear, simple idea, and just that's it. And then they don't try to like throw something crazy at that. Like one of the ones I thought was funny was the Christopher Walken getting annoyed by people doing Christopher Walken impressions to him.
Yep.
Did you see that one?
Yeah.
It was very simple, but it was also like, all these too many people do Christopher Walken impressions, and that would be that is funny to me, that him like going through life and everyone doing it to him, and he's a good actor, so he can like subtly be like annoyed. But then I
Yeah.
forget what happened. But then somehow at the end they try to jam in. I forget who it was, but
I
there was like
can't remember
another.
either.
There was another celebrity right at the end. Oh, I think it was Usher, because they were like, "Oh yeah," and then Usher's gonna be the halftime show, so that they threw Usher in. Like this
Yeah.
doesn't. It didn't. I mean, it completely ruined it for me.
Yeah. That's the problem.
So, but my big take though too is like a lot of people will complain. Like a lot of people will go, they'll build up. I can't. They like the Super Bowl commercials. They like to watch this, and then you'll see online constantly. They're not funny this year. No funny Super Bowl commercial. And then I'm like, well, you write a fucking commercial. I mean, it must be really hard because it's not like you just have your funny idea. I mean, you're not dealing with like the UCB team, the you're not Second City company. You're going to like Pepsi, and you're like, here's my hilarious idea, Pepsi, and they're like, huh, I don't know, let's do 5,000 things differently. So it's like
Let's
it
have
can't
Usher
be
come in at the end.
it can't be that easy to just like come up with a funny Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah. And what's with this what's with the Jesus ads this year and
Well,
last year?
Jesus was he's like God's son.
Is that right?
Yeah. They're trying to get the word out.
Oh my God. And he's okay. All right.
Yeah. You'll hear more from him. He's
Sorry, I
starting a
should just go to the
TikTok.
website that was on
Go to the website.
ad. Okay.
Go to the website, you'll learn.
All right.
Yeah, I think they always do a Jesus commercial, don't they?
First time I saw them was last year. I was like, what the wow, that's a lot of money. And they kept showing. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
this fucking church has a lot of money to throw around.
Well, and then they did it was a big feet thing.
Yeah, they did the washing the feet.
Washing
That was
the
one
feet.
of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I forgot what my kids thought.
People weren't, if you're not like if you didn't grow up in like Sunday school, I feel like the feet thing could throw you off a little bit. Like if you're not familiar with the story of him washing feet, you'd be like, well, okay, fine, but what's again with the feet?
My wife thought it was a take on Mr. Rogers because he washed the black mailman's feet. I was like, no, babe, I think that's a Bible story.
You're like, uh-oh. Somebody needs to go back to catechism. That's hilarious. I think Jesus learned that from Mr. Rogers. Oh man.
No.
Oh, and then Temu. That was the funniest one to me, actually. Was the one that wasn't even trying to. Did you see Temu?
I saw those. What is it? Is that like
Temu,
just a bunch of like
Temu? Fire shit.
Isn't that like
we're like, and no one.
Shit?
Let me tell you something. Nobody knows what Temu was before, and then now I know the word, but no one's ever gonna know what it is. Like they completely failed.
Yeah.
It looked like something where 1,000%, if I download this on my phone will crash, and I'll have to go to a iPhone tech, and like they'll tell me it's over. You have to just get a new iPhone. Yeah. That's what it looked like to me. It was a total like website where oh shit, don't click on that. Do not click on that. That's what Temu looks like to me. Temu. I don't know what they sell. I don't know what they do.
Apparently
sure
they sell
it's a scam.
Everything.
I'm sure it's a scam. I remember my brother Dave. He got into some website. I can't remember what it was. Where it was like, you can get a big screen TV for $1. All you have to sign up. All you have to do is sign up and bid on, and then you get these coins. And if you sign up using my name, I'm like, I'm out, bro. Yeah. Once you start the referral game,
yeah,
I'm out.
And that's one of those ones where it's like, yeah, you get it for $1, but you have to pay for your bid. And every time you bid, the clock starts over. So the company makes $10 million and the one winner gets it for $1.
See, I'm sure that I think I was like positive that it wasn't going to work out for me. I just didn't know in what way. And then now I know. Thank you for explaining.
Yeah.
But Temu.
Temu. Who knows?
Temu.
Temu.
And they didn't even try. So that's kind of a lesson there. They're like, fuck. They're like, forget writing anything. You'd have to pay someone to come up with an idea. Let's just take that money and put it towards like 2 more ads and just have a weird AI cartoon. Temu.
I couldn't. Yeah, it's so funny because I couldn't think of any. Someone else was asking me. I was like, yeah, I don't really remember a lot of the ads. I remember the one. Though my sister-in-law was supposed to be in the. She was in the one with Jennifer Aniston, where you forget things and you get Uber or something like that. Uber Eats, where you forget you have to make room to remember things, so you have to forget. So she forgets who David Schwimmer is.
Yes,
she remembers to use Uber
that was
Eats.
funny, and then yeah.
But I guess she got cut out of that one. But ouch. So that would have been neat. My buddy Dave Tooney was in one with Usher. It was it didn't air during the Super Bowl. It was like after the Super Bowl. It's like a rehearsal of Usher learning to roller skate, and he can't roller skate at all to get ready for the halftime show. He's like the director of the commercial, so he's like, "Oh, we better order. We're gonna be here a while. Let's order Uber Eats or whatever."
Yeah.
Shout out to Dave Tooney.
Shout out Dave Tooney. That's the thing I miss about LA. It's like looking for your friends in commercials.
Yeah.
But then it's also like something you just don't see as many commercials anymore either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you pay for the cheap Peacock.
Well, no, I shouldn't even say that. I guess their commercials are. Hey, how about this? Commercials are back. Come back for commercials.
Good way or a bad way?
Well, in a big way, because like Netflix now has commercial. Like they're like, because all the things.
I thought that was like
all gonna have commercials.
They're tiered, right? Like if you pay for the cheap Netflix, you get commercials.
Well, I have like Netflix through my T-Mobile, so I think that's why I'm gonna get Netflix commercials. But you know what? Everyone makes a big deal about it. Can I tell you something? I like to know what's out there. Give me a few commercials. I don't mind.
In the middle of your show, though, I don't mind watching, 3 minutes of commercials before my show starts. But
no, because you tune out on those because like okay,
I know I do.
You can go to the kitchen. No. You should have to watch them. To be fair, that's the whole point. I mean, someone paid a lot of money for those, and you're just gonna ignore them?
Yes.
Not good, Johnny.
If I'm paying for any like commercials,
how would you know about
free
Temu?
TV? Commercials are your payment for free airwave TV. When you're paying for Hulu or you're paying for Netflix.
Counterpoint, you had commercials on like TBS and you had to pay for TBS.
I never had cable because I didn't want to pay for TV. I never knew like Road Rules. I didn't even know what was the first what was the one before Road Rules where they lived together?
Real World.
The Real World, yeah. I had no clue. I never knew what anyone was talking about. I've never seen any of those.
You never had cable your whole life, even as an adult? Like
I think when we were little, we did. No, as an adult, I did at some point. Yeah, I think we did at some point. Like, yeah, I did on my own at some point, but I don't know.
What are you doing with your life? So you don't know the simple pleasure of coming home from a show and 12:30 at night and having ice cream and just turning on TNT and watching like half of Shawshank Redemption. You don't know the beauty of just like, The Rock is on
condos. The Rock or Sean Connery. Wow.
Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage. I get to watch 15 minutes of this before I fall asleep. Lord of the Rings.
That's so funny. My buddy, he laughed so hard when I told him I bought Shawshank Redemption on iTunes.
I know. Just think of all the times you could have DVR'd it. Just like millions of times.
You don't even have the DVR today. You could put it's probably on right now.
I know. There's this Shawshank Redemption channel. That had to have been somebody's bit at some point.
Yeah.
There's just a channel for Shawshank Redemption. That's the sad part about doing comedy too long. You have like some idea and then you're like, oh, that's got to be somebody else's bit. And
even if you never heard it, you're just like, that's
I know.
too spot on perfect.
And then think of like there's probably 99 times you're probably right, because most of the time everything's been thought of and tried. But then one of those times you're throwing away an idea, just somehow no one stumbled on it yet, and you're
Yeah.
throwing away a perfectly good idea.
Yeah.
But actually you're not, because if you had done it and you were the first one, no one would give you credit. Because then once someone saw it, somebody, would start to
They'd
get
do it,
out
yeah.
there, and then you'd be the one who stole it from like a famous guy because no
Yeah.
one knows you.
Yeah.
A little cynical, but here we are. But the game, we're not even talking about the game.
Game. You know what? I was getting a little worried because I mean, Edie is my little sports guru, and oh my god. So Edie was rooting for the Chiefs big time.
Yeah.
And when it wasn't looking great or bad plays would happen, I could tell it was affecting that. Like they were snapping at Duncan, like Duncan would, talk or like be like, oh, I think that the 49ers are gonna win. Edie would be like, shut up, Duncan. I was like, oh no, I don't want you to
Just
be
like
one of
me.
those.
Just like me. Heidi said that before. It's like, it's kind of scary how much it affects your mood. Like, well, I told you, like when we went together to the Seahawks game, she's like, that was like the best date ever. I was like, yeah, because if they had lost, it would have been the worst date ever. It's the experience of being a sports fan. So
Yeah.
Edie's a big Chiefs, or at least was a big Chiefs supporter for this game. Was there any specific reason why, or just like the Patrick Mahomes effect, or the Kelsey effect, or
Edie really likes
anti-Niners because of
Mahomes.
Green Bay?
Yeah, well, yeah, Edie's a big anti-Niners. But like before, like who was it? Who played who did the Chiefs beat to get in the Super Bowl?
The Ravens.
And who before that?
Baltimore. Oh, the Bills. Buffalo Bills.
Because I think Edie was rooting for either the Bills or they had this cockamamie stories of like, well, they've won so many times. It's kind of they've been in it too many times. I want like the underdog. And I was like, yeah, but they're supposedly your second favorite team. I mean, I like them because I'm from Nebraska. That's like the closest team, and
yeah. Midwest.
So I mean, I like
Country
the
boys.
I like the Chiefs. And I like Mahomes.
Yeah, he seems like a good guy. I don't know. I just hate the 49ers. It's so fun to just root against a team. See, I've had this experience with Oklahoma City, because when the Sonics were taken away to Oklahoma, I just had no team to root for in the NBA. So I just would root against Oklahoma City. That was my Super Bowl, or my championship every year was when Oklahoma
For
City.
Basketball,
yeah, in the NBA. So, like,
they moved from Seattle to Oklahoma City.
Yes.
And so you were rooting against them because they were
stolen from us, is the words I would use. The owner of Starbucks, Howard Schultz, sold the Sonics out from under the city to these oil barons from Oklahoma City. This guy, Clay Bennett, Aubrey McClendon, and a couple other billionaire types. And so then I hated them. I was so mad. And then and they had Kevin Durant, who I'm sure you even know Kevin Durant, I bet.
I'm familiar with the name. I don't know what he looks like.
Okay.
He's not the guy with the huge beard, is he?
No, that's James Harden. But they also had James Harden. On one team, they had James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Russell Westbrook. And that could have been the Sonics, but instead they were in Oklahoma. So I rooted against that team. And it was the greatest, because every year I would win the NBA championship, because all you have to do is have one team not win it. Your odds are tremendous. Being a hater is so much easier than like loving a team, So once the Seahawks are out, all I have to do is root against the 49ers. And it was close. It was very close. They got to overtime. I could have been devastated, but here's another year where I won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So of all the teams, 49ers is your top hated team. Oh, in fact, good. Well,
they're the only team I like really like. The Rams I don't like, but like, if they win, it's not like the 49ers
Didn't the
for
Rams
whatever
win
reason.
like 2 years ago?
Yeah, yeah. And I wasn't rooting for them, but it's not like it didn't kill me or anything.
Oh,
49ers just I hate extra for whatever reason.
I'm still fascinated. Like Edie is like talking to grown men that are sports people, like they know all these statistics, and I'm just like, how much space, like how much work is it to learn these things, maintain them, retain it? And Edie is in 5th grade and already like just linemen. Edie will be like, yeah, they went. Well, Hartley likes him because because he went to this college, and it's just like
Wow,
the history of these non-stars, and you're in
they're on the
5th
path.
grade. Like Jesus,
Edie's
Christ.
on the path to just wasting their life.
Yes, and
Like
having
me.
bad days out of
And
no
just
control of their own.
scrolling Twitter endlessly, waiting for your team to hire an offensive coordinator, and then talking yourself into how that's going to make the difference. When in reality, it's like, do you have Patrick Mahomes? See, that's the thing. I've been quoting you all week, the last 2 weeks, because I don't know if you're like aware of like the line for the game or the odds or where the money was being bet on, but like San Francisco was the favorite.
By what, 2 points, 3
2
points?
points. It moved around. I think by game time it was 1.5. It came out at 2.5, and it kind of floated from there. But all the smart bettors in Vegas were on the Niners. All the heavy money, like the big syndicates, and then the dumb public was all on the Chiefs because they're like, Patrick Mahomes. What are you talking about? Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
He wins every game. What am I, an idiot? I get him. I get points with him. Okay, sure. Take my money,
Yeah.
And I remember talking to you before that Ravens game, and we were betting on the Packers, and then I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bet on the Ravens. They're like by far the better team, Look at all I could show you all these statistics, and then you were like, I don't know, and you don't know shit about football, but you're like, I don't know, I can't go with you on that. They have Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, Johnny, bless your heart, that's cute that you care, but and that's like the example, and this is, I think you can use this for all of life, is having an outsider's perspective to simplify big decisions.
Yeah.
So like you can outsmart yourself, you can outthink yourself, and I think like everybody was like, oh yeah, like idiots all know Patrick Mahomes is great, but I've done the math and this stat and this stat. No, and their offensive line, and actually their running game and all that.
Yeah.
And in the end, what mattered at the end of the game? One team had Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
They had to go down and score a touchdown. They did. The other team had Brock Purdy. They had to go score, and they got a field goal, and that was the difference.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, but it actually ends up being true. So like, I do think like we could all benefit taking that step back, having a moron idiot guy perspective like Johnny has, and then that'll help you.
That's my service.
Your date. No.
Outlook.
No, I'm giving you credit in a weird way.
No, it's the
and that's what influenced me. So I had like money left over in that DraftKings account from your bet experience on Green Bay, because I made other bets.
Which game was that?
I mean, I bet on every playoff game basically.
What was the one we did together? That was Packers.
Green Bay versus the Niners.
Oh, then we lost. Then we lost.
But that was like the only bet I lost. I was actually pretty hot that week. And then so I had money. So I bet all the square bets, all the dumb guy, just Joe Schmo public, because I was like, I think that's actually what's gonna happen. So
Mahomes. So did you bet on the Ravens?
I bet Mahomes for MVP.
Nice.
Travis Kelce over his receiving yardage, which hit, and then the Kansas City to win money line, and that all came in. And it's like, why don't we just do that? I should just bet it all right now for next year.
Yeah,
just bet the future.
You probably have better. You probably get more money if you bet now.
Yeah, you get way better odds. Yeah.
Oh man.
So,
shit. Yeah.
You should just
Venmo you some money and have you do it.
You know what? Really? No. So you should do that for football, and then I should just pick a sport where I know nothing about it, and just come at it from like the most amateur place,
The Johnny perspective.
from
Yeah.
the Johnny perspective, and
So
then
betting
just
on
bet it
tennis.
with that amount of knowledge, and you'd probably do better.
Yeah.
Because they always say that about like how, the who wins the NCAA tournament pool, the March Madness pool. It's always like the person who just goes,
Oh yeah, just
I don't know,
blindly doesn't
whatever.
know
Just,
anything,
yeah,
and
they
everyone
just trust
hates
their
them.
instinct. They're not like researching a bunch of
Yeah.
guard play or whatever.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Way
Super
to
Bowl
do it.
talk.
Super Bowl talk. Well, hey, before we run out of time, we have two people need backup on our reviews. We've got two, and I gotta be on. I read them ahead of time, and I gotta say, they're both gems.
Oh my God. What an occasion.
I know, it's very exciting. This one, I can't. All I have is Ryan. He signed it Ryan. It's called The Working Man's Heroes. I think he's
Okay.
talking to us about us. So here's what he said. Hey, Cavalry, I'd like some backup on car tires, increasing the font size on the PSI specifications.
I love it.
Why is it acceptable for something so essential to be listed in the smallest possible lettering? Thanks for the great content week after week. Episode 200 is almost here. How perfect of it. That's like, that's going to be what I send out when we have guests. And I'm like, here's an example of a topic. I'm going to use that one because it's like, that's great.
And also, easy one to get behind. But then I also love the topics where you can just visualize the moment it hit the person. Like, it's not like, how did he come up with that? Like, he's clearly got the low tire pressure warning on his car and had to go fill it up, and was like, God damn it, what the fuck does that say?
Yeah.
It's
an easy backup though. It's an easy backup.
Yeah, they should just make the whole tire, you know what I mean? Like, Goodyear,
as big as the brand.
Or like get the, how like sometimes they have the light up rims, have it actually flash the number at you when you like push a button or something.
Yeah.
I had to get my my low tire pressure. First of all, like, it's what is the symbol on your, you have a Prius, so you have the same one as me. But maybe, I don't know if this is universal or not, but on my dashboard, I got
exclamation.
It's an exclamation point.
Yeah, and it's like
over a triangle. Is it a triangle? For low pressure tire warning? I feel like it's an exclamation point over some sort of shape.
Like a circle with lines on the bottom or something.
Oh, well, that would make more sense because that would be like a wheel on a road. I look at mine and it in no way looks like a tire on the Prius. So I get the exclamation point. I'm like, well, that could fucking be any. That's just like, hey, your car.
Hey, something important is fucked up.
Yeah. Hey, man, your car. And then I'm like, well, now what? But I was low tire pressure. That does not look like a wheel. Why isn't there a top to it? Why is it coming out?
That's why I didn't describe it as a wheel.
It's
like a part of a circle with lines on the bottom.
It looks like it's growing. It looks like it's like a indoor plant.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's what mine is.
So I filled my tires back up, and then the alert wouldn't go off. And then now I'm eternally on this alert. And then they're like, oh, you have to reset something. You have to hold like 19 different buttons down at the same time, restart the car. And it's like, I'm never going to learn. I watched like 3 YouTube videos. It's never going to happen. So now I just eternally never know whether my tire pressure's low or not, because that light's going to always be on.
Or, well, you can also just check it at the tire place.
I did, though. Well, I mean, like when I get my oil,
there's a gauge, when you put the thing in, doesn't it tell you what it's at?
Yeah, but don't you have to like put the quarter in to start that process?
Well, I don't go to the ones where you have to pay. I don't believe in that.
Well, where do you go into the
Quick Trip? I go to Quick Trip. Quick Trip, you can set it to 35, put it on, and hold it, and it'll beep when it's done automatically. Tell you when to stop.
All right,
and it's free. You gotta
wait in the line. You gotta put in a quarter.
This is a gas station, Quick Trip,
and they do it for free. Wow, free air. Who would have thought?
Free air. I know. This day and age. We got another one. Here, I'll
Shout
read
out
the other.
Quick Trip. Oh yeah, do the other one. Well, Ryan, good job by you. Thank you for reviewing the podcast and leaving a comment. You know, you should all be doing that.
All right, this one, this one. I don't know that this one's as easy to get behind, but this one's from Kyle McClure. This is my favorite podcast. Hopefully, the guys can back me up here. I really wish that if Joaquin Phoenix is playing an actual historic character in a movie like Johnny Cash or Napoleon or the bad guy in Gladiator, if the real people didn't have a hair lip, they should digitally remove Joaquin's. I mean, come on, we have the technology.
Wow. That is amazing.
Oh,
I agree.
you agree?
Well,
You agree?
first of all,
Okay.
yeah. How do we know Napoleon didn't have a hair lip? I mean, do we have pictures?
I mean, if I was a betting man, statistically, it's just highly unlikely that
yeah.
all three of those people.
What if that's how Joaquin Phoenix is choosing his roles? He just
This
goes
is how he's
to
getting cast.
he goes to his agent like, get me every famous person who's ever had a hair lip. I'm going to play them. I didn't even know he had a. I don't even know. I'm trying to like picture.
Yeah, I thought he.
I mean, I
he have
guess
it
he
fixed or something, or I
guess
knew
he
he
kinda
did
has
just
a
because
thing.
of talk of it. But yeah, maybe it's just a scar from when it was fixed. I don't know.
It probably makes him more interesting, like on camera. You're probably like it's like a more charactered face. Maybe that's
but
a secret.
Also, yeah, I mean, maybe I'm taking this too seriously. But if you can digitally fix the hair lip, why not just AI the fucking Abraham Lincoln's face over Joaquin's
Yeah,
face?
there you go. Now we're talking.
The slippery slope, Kyle.
Yeah, pretty soon me and you are going to be able to be in the movies.
That's right. Yeah.
Although I think it's very expensive because they were saying there's some Marvel movie where they're like, you know, the new Captain America, he used to be the Falcon.
Yeah.
Okay. They're saying something about
Tony
I read it.
something?
Huh?
His name Tony something?
That's Tony Stark.
No, the
He's
real
Iron
actor.
Man. Oh, I don't know. But they were saying he has like his costume, you know, like his Captain America costume. And there was some like part of it that they were like digitally putting in onto his because it was like too hard to get it to stay on or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
in post, they were like putting it on every shot he was in. They were like computer generating an extra part of his costume. And in the next movie or next show or whatever he appeared in, it wasn't there. And then these nerds just, you know, emerged from their
nerd
basements and they erupted. They're like, what happened to his glyco monitor, you know, whatever. And they literally came out, they were like, it was too expensive. We can't spend the money to keep putting that on, so we just don't have it anymore.
I can't imagine how expensive it would be to fix a hair lip.
Yeah. So there you go. But I'm backing you up. I totally thought he was going to go with he should speak with like a French accent or whatever, because that was like, I haven't seen Napoleon, but apparently he doesn't try any sort of French. He just does it in his normal voice.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense too, because it's not like he's speaking French. Like,
yeah.
You know, when people do accents, you're like, well, okay, you can do like the Russian, like when they like Hunt for Red October, you know?
Yeah.
Sean Connery is doing like a Russian accent, but like it's not like in Russia they were speaking English with Russian accents on their Russian submarine. They were speaking Russian, you know?
That's a good point. Should have subtitles.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm backing him up.
You back him up, and I'm going to push back. I'm going to say, why stop there?
Oh, right. Because if you do that, it's a slippery slope for you.
Yeah, just put the guys. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Napoleon didn't have that color eyes.
I'm anti AI too. I don't like the AI thing, so maybe I'd go with you on that.
Did you see the new Indiana Jones yet or no?
Yes, I did. I saw it on a plane, as I think
Did
was
you
meant
think
to be seen.
the face was did you think the
I thought they
beginning?
did a great job.
Yeah, I thought it looked great. I thought it was
You know
yeah.
what? Not only did I think they did a great job with the CGI stuff, I thought it was like pretty darn good.
The movie was good?
I think we talked about this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you pushed back on that.
I want to see it again. I like the character so
You
much.
said
I
it
like
wasn't
Harrison
enough
Ford. It just
action.
yeah, it was just
Yeah,
the,
we
the
had this
most action
conversation.
was car action. And
Yeah.
I don't care about
And
car
then I
action.
reminded you that Harrison Ford's in his 80s.
98. Yeah.
And you're like, why didn't he learn what's that shit where they jump off the walls? God damn it. That would have been funny if I could gotten that out clean. You know, where they like
I know what you're talking
one
about. Yeah,
foot,
they do it
one
in
foot,
one
and
episode of The Office. They're all doing
it
it.
was very parkour.
Hardcore. Yeah.
That's the kind of comedian I am at. I'm like, I know what
When you're like, hey, does
40
anyone hey, do you know what that thing is where they jump with the parkour?
it takes me like
Yes.
45 seconds to get to the word I wanted before, and then by then the moment's passed, and then everyone's like, it's not funny anymore.
Yeah.
But that was like really big for, I'd say, those mid aught or like 2010. I don't know when. Like there was like a couple James Bond movies, Mission Impossibles or something,
Yeah.
where the bad guys all knew parkour, and then they would run down an alley. And next thing you know, they were on the fucking roof, just
Yeah.
jumping foot off. And then it went away, and everyone forgot parkour.
Yeah. Now they're all just doing
Now
car
they all
chases
have
again.
AI. All right,
Anyway,
we got to get to topics, my
it's
dude.
our
We're
topics.
burning
Oh my
daylight.
gosh. We're helping all our listeners here.
I know. I should be. Thank you for those that write in, and thank you to Kyle and Ryan. And yeah, you guys can all do that.
Oh, can I just tell you a real quick anecdote? Not I don't know what an anecdote is, but a quick short story.
It's an anecdote.
When I
You had it.
isn't that what an anecdote is?
An
Just a
anecdote
funny
is
short
literally
story?
a quick short story, and you
Okay.
had it, and you didn't need to leak confidence there.
I did. I
You
thought
did.
it like had I thought it was like I don't know. Never
But I
mind.
had to have a moral.
No, I thought it was I thought it was what you drink after you take poison. No. So this is my
Quick, hand me the anecdote. Well, the other day I was with my grandmother, and she went through the depression. She keeps all this food in her basement.
All right, so I want to tell you this because it was when I was with Andy working, and he texted me. I was driving to we were at that show together, and he was like, "Hey, they're supposed to have good food. I hope they are. I'll get there before you. Let me know if you want me to order you any food." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, if they have like a salad, just order me like a salad or something. If they have like a Caesar salad. Otherwise, I won't. Don't worry about it." And we get there, and no one ever took my order, and he was already eating. I was like, "Yeah, whatever. I don't care. It was fine because I got McDonald's on the way there anyway."
Yeah.
And then like, "Hey, how's the food?" And then we were like texting afterwards. I don't know if it was text or whatever, but he was like, "Yeah, I didn't want to say anything. I was kind of embarrassed. I didn't eat much of the food because I had gotten McDonald's before." And I sent him a picture of my McDonald's bag that was in the wheel well of my car. And I was like, "Hey, me too. That's why I fed you that bullshit line about getting me a salad." I had McDonald's.
Well, then why was Andy talking up the food to you if he went and got
I think he made the offer to me before we both got there. So it was before the McDonald's or something.
Very suspicious.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's like, I don't want him to get McDonald's, so I'm gonna tell him to eat dinner at the.
Well, he did get dinner. He did get dinner there, but
I know, but he had McDonald's too, right?
yeah.
Yeah, weird.
I don't know.
Can't trust him.
Maybe he just wasn't sure if they were going to offer us
Who
food.
went first? You or Andy?
He did.
Oh,
Yeah.
big time in them. I like it.
Did I tell you about that? That was the day that I don't know if we talked about this, but I got a call to open for Shane Gillis at the Overture in Madison.
No shit, really?
Yeah, like 2,200 people. And I was like, I just got a random text. I was like, hey,
Fuck.
this is Shane's manager. His
Oh
openers are on a
no.
plane. They didn't make their flight. Can
And then
you? And
you
I was
had to
like, I
go with
can't do it.
uh
I'm booked in Rockford tonight.
it just canceled.
I know, but I
Because
could. I mean, the Rockford one was decent money, and I was like, I just couldn't do a day of. Plus, Andy was there, and I was like, I can't. But then I was like, wait a minute. The Rockford gig is at 9 p.m. This is a 7 o'clock show. It's
yeah.
only about an hour, 15 minutes. So I text her afterwards and I was like, hey, I think I can make it. My show's at 9. I can make it. And it just worked out. She was like, all right, can you be here by 7:15? I was like, yeah, yep. And I was there. I met actually Shane walked in. He was like, hey man, thanks so much for doing this. And he's like, hey, we worked together. And I was like, did we really? And he's like, yeah, we worked together in it was a long time ago, and it was a comedy zone in Philadelphia, somewhere in
Was he
Phil
opening
or
for you?
somewhere in Pennsylvania. Because I write in, I journal after every show, just like who I worked with, how the show went. I looked at it was 2014 because I looked up when I was at that gig, and I was like, yeah, the show, the show's fine. Some Shane something was the MC, and then, like he was just like he was just starting. It's like, oh my god.
Oh yeah. But see, well, so then you went to so you did your set,
Yeah,
and then
I
you
did.
just walked right off stage and went to Rockford.
Yeah,
See, you fucked that up because the whole point is to then hang out with the dude who's about to host Saturday Night Live.
I know. I didn't know he was gonna. I didn't know he was gonna host Saturday Night Live. Not that that would change it.
No, I mean it wouldn't. I mean, you still would have gone and done your show. I probably would have done all the same things. I'm talking big, but like somebody else who's not on this podcast and is on a more successful podcast would have told you to just call in sick to the Andy one. Andy could have covered it the time, and then hung out all night
Just
with
hung
Shane,
out.
try to get drunk and trying to get in that whole
Yeah.
cavalcade. But that's very funny.
Next time.
See, we are at that point, and he wouldn't be the first, but like where people who
Are huge.
open for you.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, I can't believe you didn't tell me that. That's
well,
huge.
I think we've only recorded.
Was the
once,
show
and we
incredible?
talked
Was
about
it just
visiting.
like was the crowd just like insane?
Yeah, I mean, this place is big. This was 2,200 people, and he did
Yeah.
2 shows. I only opened for the 7 o'clock. He did 2 shows.
Oh, who'd they have for the 9?
I don't know.
Oh, you
He
just
didn't ask me about the 9. They
Yeah.
just said,
I bet the
maybe it
guy
was his
could.
openers.
I bet his opener flight he could
Yeah.
get there for the late one.
Yeah. But man, yeah, that was, and you know what was great about that? This is what was so great about that is that it was too short notice to be nervous.
Oh yeah, and I
I mean, I was like, oh yeah, I could,
would you
so I
even have
show
been
up.
nervous?
I don't know. I wouldn't have been nervous, but I would have been like all in my head about what I'm going to do. And I was just
Right.
talking to him the whole time. So I wasn't planning. So when and he was like, oh, hey, someone came in and was like, hey, 4 minutes. Like, all right, well, I'm going to bring you on. So Shane gets on the mic, brings me on, and I'm walking out there and I'm like, I have a very vague idea of what I'm about to say to 2,200 people right now.
Yeah.
And it went great. It was like, well,
of course.
I wouldn't have changed it. Yeah.
Of course. And that's like the little secret. Everyone's like thinks it would be harder, I think, to open for someone famous or for someone who, when they're like there in my head before I'd ever done it, like they're here to see XYZ, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to see me. They don't want to see the opener. They're like, fucking get this guy out of here so I can see the guy paid, $40, $50, $60 to see. And the truth is that once you're on there, you've been lent the credibility by their hero.
Yeah.
They like, if you're opening for Dave Attell or Louis C.K., they've go, oh, that's his. They go,
his guy. Yeah.
They've blessed you with their little fairy wand, and now they're like, he must be great. And as long as you just do your act and like, do what you normally do, and it's funny that you'll have them eaten out of the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
And don't go too long. That's the other thing.
Yeah. And he has two. Like when I texted back, she was like, "Yeah, we do have someone, but he likes to have two openers. So let me check to see if he wants
wow.
you on too." And he's like, and she was like, "Yeah." So he had two, and so yeah, so he had two, and it's funny because, like you said, like I guess with him, sometimes the audiences are like that. He was like apologizing ahead of time. He's like, "Yeah, sometimes my audience, sometimes they're, and he was just telling
Yeah.
stories after the fact, after I'd gone on about like people
Oh,
just
when they're
fucking not even
assholes to
letting
the
them get a
openers.
word out and like screaming and shit because
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
just,
yeah.
his crowd is kind of the.
He does probably have an extra shitty audience. I mean, he's great. He's super funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Huh.
what do you need backup on?
Wait. Who was the other opener? Last question.
It was a Milwaukee guy, that I've worked with. He's very funny, and I totally forgot
Well,
his name.
we'll look it up in the journal later.
In the journal.
That's cool. You journal every show.
Yeah, I mean, most of the times I'm just too lazy and tired, so I say the venue, the city, who I worked with, if it went good. But like I'll try to, they always end with, "God damn it, I need to write more." Every show.
But that's still neat. I have no, like I know some comics they write a set list for every show and they keep every set list, or like Brad Upton has his entire career of set lists. He has like,
Wow.
I'm sure thousands of pages.
Yeah.
And I have no like
he has thousands
physical
of pages of paper that will just be tossed in the garbage
I
can
know, but you
because he
still can look
hides.
at it. You can look at it and go, I did all of those. And you can look
Right.
at your journals and go, I did all. And I have no physical proof that I've done all these sets that I've done, except for the scars in my soul.
You're looking ahead. You're looking ahead, not in the rearview mirror, baby.
Okay, here's my topic.
Okay. While Johnny gets philosophical, I'll
immediately
just
get bored when you try to support me. All right, yeah, shut up.
Okay.
Here's no, but that's cool. You opened for Shane. That's like he's like probably the biggest comic going right now. Maybe that's not true. I don't know.
I always thought,
he seems very.
I mean, he's not the biggest, but like I thought he was more of like, oh, comedians all know who he is. But then when I was like, he's at the Overture and he's doing 2 shows.
No, he's. I mean,
it's fucking huge.
We should probably talk more about that. But like the idea that he got fired from Saturday Night Live when they unearthed old podcast episodes of him doing a Chinese accent, and then literally hired people of Asian descent on the show in reaction to him getting fired.
Yeah.
Right? Like they had that. He's not only responsible for him not being on the show, he's responsible for them hiring
Bowen
more
Yang.
people of color. Yeah, Bowen Yang. And then I think, is that when Leslie got hired too? Because they had not had like a black woman on or something. I can't remember.
I don't know. I thought she was before.
Okay, that might have been something else. But it was a reaction to that led to additional hires, which is great because Bowen's become like a big star for them too.
Yeah.
But then it's like that's like a huge impact. And then to then get so famous, you shove it in their face that they ask you to host is insane.
Yeah.
It is insane because he was not a household name before. Like I had never heard of him when the whole thing started,
Oh yeah, I didn't know who he was at all when he got hired.
Wasn't he still in Philly at that point? Like I don't remember. And it's funny, one of his guys is Tommy Pope, and maybe that was the person who was going to open for him. I don't know, but Tommy Pope, I knew through comedy in LA, and then he was at festivals and stuff. But I had never heard of Shane,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's funny because I like looked up, after I worked with him, so I like looked up, I was like, what exactly was it they dug up in his past? And I looked it up. I was like, some of that's pretty, yeah, you can't really
Can't do
Get
that.
around the, but then I read on, it was like his reaction, you know, when they asked, oh, how do you feel? You know, you got offered the job and they took it away. And his reaction was just like, well, yeah, I mean, it's Saturday Night Live and I said this, this, and this. What do you expect? Of course they're gonna, you know, they came, yeah, you know, like he was
Right.
totally not mad at them or blaming them at all. He's like,
Yeah. Yeah, but also you're like, you hire me and then you fire me once you, it's like, could you just please do the diligence before you
yeah.
hire me? Like,
But it wasn't the
it's
show that did the
embarrassing.
diligence. It was a PR thing because someone else was like, they hired him and look what I found, who they
Yeah.
hired. And they're like, oh,
Yeah.
great. Now we got to deal with this.
But then or just have like the courage to go, hey, we're not in the business of like censoring what people said before they get on the show. It's like we're worried about what people say when they're on our show, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I can't remember the context or whatever, but this podcast, I wonder if there's anything on here we would get fired from Saturday Night Live from. I mean, we're almost at 200 episodes. It's probably
that's our
something.
best. That's our best shot at getting.
But you know what we've got? You know what we've got? Our superpower? Nobody's gonna go back and listen to everything.
If we both get hired,
you're really gonna drudge through all that. All right.
All of our gold.
Yeah, we're
all right. What do you? Oh yeah. Oh gosh, we're
quick.
holy cow.
We're way over. We're way
over.
Okay.
I'm gonna give a super short, easy, dumb one.
Me too. Okay.
Okay.
So I see these videos again, like on Instagram or it's just like a trope of like, you know, oh, if you have Chinese food in America, it's not like the food they actually eat in China. And then, but I think the biggest example of this, or the most annoying to me, is like when Italian food, and then like people from Italy will have this attitude, or like sometimes I see these reaction videos of like someone from Italy looking at the way like Italian restaurants prepare food in America and going, this is not how we do it, or you don't do this, or you don't do that. And let me tell you something. Or pizza. That's not real pizza. This is a ruined version of it. This is a big mess compared to what we do in Napoli or whatever.
Yeah.
So this is what I need backup on. This is our food. We make it here and we like it.
Go back to Italy. Speaking of getting canceled.
Fuck up. And if you want your Italian food in Italy, go eat it in Italy. We're making it the way we like it. And it's like no one said, this is food. This isn't a book. It's not copyrighted. This isn't like something you own. This is just food. We're making it. Sure, maybe we got some ideas from you, but we're making it. Kung Pao chicken doesn't exist in China. Okay. We like it here. We're making it the way we want to make it.
We like a long time here.
Okay, God, there it goes. 198 episodes. There, mark it down. Put it in the journal. This is the one where we don't get hired.
Yeah.
And that's the shame of it. There's no context. No one's gonna rewind 10 minutes to when we were talking about Shane Gillis and get that you're doing a callback. No one's gonna know that. They're just gonna think you thought it would be hilarious.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? This is just our food. Yeah. Or I mean, it's just the way it's
because Pizza Hut fucked up Italian culture. Yeah,
that's Pizza Hut. It's not Italian food. It's Pizza Hut. Right. And you know, there's other types. There's Chicago deep dish. And not even chains. There's just versions of this shit now that's different than where it came from. And that's fine. It doesn't have to be like quote unquote authentic. You know, Mexican food, the same thing. Like maybe it isn't exactly how they do it in Mexico. And that's great. Some people
I'm going to back you up.
Yeah, I mean, this is
my
right
favorite pizza is Totino's Party Pizzas because it doesn't have chunks of tomato in the sauce.
See, I knew. Yeah. I mean, this was a layup, but
yeah,
That's all I'm saying. It's just like or like these Italians, especially. Like there's this one guy. There's some couple, and they'll post videos, and she'll intentionally do things, and he'll get oh, how could you do it? Yeah, you make it like this, and then she'll cut. Like how some people break the pasta before they put it in the
Yeah, yeah.
boiling water, and you're not. Oh, God forbid you do that. And I've caught myself. I was like, I don't do it because I'm like, oh no, that's not
Oh,
proper.
I
You're
always do
that's
it.
I'm like, who gives a shit? Break it up if you want. You're
If
just
you don't
gonna
break it
chew it.
up, part of it sticks out of the water and doesn't cook evenly.
Well, and then I just put it in, and then you wait. That part boils, and and then the rest of it falls in.
Oh, when it gets bendy.
It's all bendy. But you're just gonna chew it. Who gives a shit? I mean, who cares if it's cut up? I mean, then you chew it up.
Yeah.
You gotta
Gonna
eat it
turn
like
into
Lady and the
shit
Tramp.
either way.
You're gonna shit it out. It all turns into shit. Who cares what it tastes like? That just really break it down.
You're gonna turn it
What's
into poop
what's the
anyway.
point of flavor?
Wow.
Right.
It's all food preparation, you know?
I don't know. It just hit me. It just annoys me. I'm annoyed with elitism when it comes to culturally doing it exactly how. Like if I want that, which I do want I'm sure I would love to eat authentic Italian food or authentic, you know, Greek food or whatever.
Yeah.
Authentic,
Like
Japanese
I
food.
would.
I'll go there and have it the way they cook it, and I'll be grateful to have it. And I'll go, wow, that was different. Oh, that was good. Oh, that wasn't, I didn't like that. Whatever.
Yeah. Oh, that
But
was
I'm not
different
gonna
than how
go
they
there
did
and,
it at
you
Texas
know,
Roadhouse.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it.
I'll back you up. I'll back you up for sure. All right, here's mine.
Oh, yeah. What do you need backup on?
I don't know how to word this. The whole thing with thins, Oreo thins, Reese's peanut butter cup thins. Nobody wants that. Nobody's asking for that. Why are they doing that? Are they trying to trick us? Like enough. You can't go down. I think like no, like governments, you have to make sure things are healthy. Like the government
Okay.
can
Wait,
step
wait.
in. Like you
Can I
can't
what
shrink
yeah.
foods.
Can we start over? You started this with I would love to rewind the tape if we could, but you said, the whole thing with thin, and you were like, you paused as
I
if
said
I was
thins. I said
as if I
thins.
was going to jump in with like, yeah, of course. I've been reading all about thin. Oh yeah, that's been on the tip of everyone's tongue. Thin. What the fuck are you talking about? And then you like said thin 15 more times and eventually said Oreos. And I go, oh, okay. You're talking about cookies being used small.
Thins.
Thin.
Oreo thins, Reese's thins.
I didn't know about Reese's thins.
Yeah, that's one that's really set me off. Like no one, no one, no.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Of
That's
course.
why we're talking about it right now. Nobody like it's just I don't know these people at these companies like, oh, I got a way we could make money. Like I see through it. Then give us four. Then give them four, but you don't get four. It's the same price, and you get two.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe you
Did
do
you
get four. I
see
never bought
Biden?
them.
Biden talked about this.
No, what'd he say? What'd he say?
He put out a video on Super Bowl Sunday. I don't know if he it was like a commercial or something. And he was addressing shrinkflation. And he was like, we got to go after these companies that are charging the same amount, but putting less food in their.
Oh, see, there you go.
You can tell it's election time because he's
I'm-
going after the real issues that
now I'm
generates
voting
passion.
for Biden. Flipping over.
Now. You know what? This guy's starting to make some sense.
Yeah.
No,
Well.
I'll back you up. Yeah, just if you're gonna have an Oreo, just that. I mean, I do agree with you on that. Like, I mean, who are you kidding? You know? Oh, I'm just
I
having
think-
Oreo. I'm just having Oreo thins. Oh, you on a health kick?
Yeah, but that one, and that's the thing. Like
You got a
need
marathon tomorrow? Just Oreo thins, huh? What the fuck? It's still an Oreo. Still like the worst food in the world.
and the packaging's the same size. So the thins with the Oreos, you are getting the same. Like you're just getting, 200 of them. Because have you ever
Yeah.
bought like the mega stuffed? That's like bigger than the double stuffed.
Disgusting.
You get like
Disgusting.
4. You get like 4
Yeah.
in the back.
Disgusting. It reminds me of this Homer Simpson thing where he's like, the key is to just eat small bites. And then eventually he's like shoving it all into his mouth. And that's what you do with Oreo thins. You're like, I see,
Yeah.
I only need one of these. And the next thing you know, you ate the whole.
Yeah.
Okay, controversial opinion. This won't maybe get back up. With an Oreo.
You like the cookie better than the cream?
Yes.
Oh, see. Well, then you know what? Then
The
there
thins would be for me.
Thins would be for you, you fucking
Double
idiot.
Double stuffed was I think is disgusting.
Oh my god. I would make the mega stuffed out of the double stuffed. If they don't have you take 2 double stuffed and you throw away or give the the one cookie to your kid.
I remember the freak kids in my class who used to do that.
Oh.
But it's just like, even as a child, I think I could tell the difference between like frosting and then whatever that hydrogenated chemical mess was between an Oreo. Even I was like, I don't know. This doesn't seem like you couldn't melt this. Like if you put an Oreo in the microwave, the middle part would not melt. It would just like, I don't know.
Why would you put it in the microwave?
It would explode.
You're supposed to. I think the cookie part would start a fire.
Yeah, it's probably metal. It probably
it's got metal pieces in it.
Yeah. Do you ever put a Hostess? That my mom used to teach me this. Did you ever put a Hostess cupcake in the microwave?
No.
You know the Hostess cupcakes that had the cream in the middle plus the chocolate icing on
the circle loops on top? Yeah.
She used to do this as a kid, and then we learned it. But you put one of those in a bowl in the microwave, and then it'll like kind of like lava cake explode. The cream will come out in the bottom, and then you eat it with like a fork.
That's like a Slater family secret.
Yeah. My mom used to make it for
it's in your mom's little book of recipes that she got from her mom.
her Betty Crocker recipe book.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to try.
Like, hey, Mom, make sure to write that one on a note card so that, posterity, we can all make your special microwave Hostess cupcakes for my children and their children's children.
I love it.
Okay, that's it.
Good. Oh my gosh, what a bonus ep, folks. Holy cow.
Why are we giving this away for free?
I don't know. Getting close to that 200.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. I'm going to be March 1st in Whidbey Island, Washington at WICA, the Whidbey Island Center for the Arts with Bo Johnson. And again with Bo Johnson, March 2nd at the North Bend Theater in North Bend, Washington. So any Seattle people, but maybe you live on the east side or maybe you live on the island, check those shows out on my calendar.
All right. I'll be at Mason City Limits on the 24th of February. That's this week. And this Saturday, I'm in Bloomington, Illinois. And then next week, or March 2nd, Comedy Cabin, Janesville, Wisconsin.
All right. That's it. Thank you, everyone, for listening to
The Cavalry.